People deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for having me, folks. Good evening. I hope you're all doing well and safe. Now, Chelsea fans or fans of football, now I'm not a Chelsea fan. You lot know your thing and what's going on with your club more so than myself. I'm not going to pretend to tell you anything and whatnot. I support Arsenal, as you know, but I'm a fan of football. We're now seeing Sarri, or not even now, saying Chelsea have been in a bad run of form. We all know Sarri's future as whether rightly or wrongly so. When you're winning games, you're praised. When you're losing at any top six club, probably excluding Arsenal, question marks are asked of you. You're hearing Zinedine Zidane, Frank Lampard's name thrown into the ring if they get rid of him. Obviously, the time of making this vid, they've obviously just... who did they lose to? They lost to Man United in the FA Cup on a Monday. They're obviously playing on Thursday against Malmo, and then I don't want to say the big one because the competition is not the most important, but at the end of the day, Sunday they play Manchester City in the League Cup, Carabao Cup, whatever you want to refer to it as. And again, it's not the most prestigious of cups, but it's a cup final. It's a chance to get silverware at the very least with the form they're in. The players owe it. And actually, the manager and everyone connected to the club, I've personally, of course, there's no love lost between Arsenal and Chelsea fans, but they owe it to their players they owe it to their fans to give a convincing performance on Sunday. I'm not saying they owe it to win, but the form they're in, Bournemouth put a couple past them, we put a couple past them. They've conceded quite a few goals. City are in very good form. Obviously, I don't get twisted. I don't support Chelsea. I'd love for them to lose, but you get what I'm saying, innit? They owe it to their fans to put something in there, put a performance in. And probably, I don't think he'll lose to Malmo, but in the grand scheme of things, it shouldn't be that result shouldn't be important against Manchester City, but it could be, and that could be the one where it's like, all right, you're gone. For me, obviously results are important, but it's the manner in which I don't even think they're playing badly, but they're not playing badly. It's the manner in which they're getting battered, losing games, or just lack of other tactics. Like obviously, sorry, but it was all going well. They were undefeated in the first 12 games. They were unbeaten essentially. Majority of them wins. I don't know how many games they drew, but it was going fine. They were saying sorry, ball. He's implemented it. Jorginho was flying. Hazard's still got a good tally of goals, but it's dried up recently. Apologies for the wind, people. Things are going well. Now in the last 13 games, they've had, I think, 5 defeats. Not too many sure for any other points dropped, but it's a bit of stress. For me, anyways, from what I see, I'm not sure if Sarri should be given more time, because on one hand, and again, I don't really have an opinion. If I just look at it from all sides of myself, I feel, on one hand, there's a dangerous precedent with, and I feel guilty of it as well, giving managers time, giving the wrong man time. I'm not saying Sarri is, but I think that's one possibility we don't talk with. Even at Arsenal, I believe in Unai Emery. I'm not saying he's the wrong man, but if people did have question marks, I don't feel in football it's changed quick enough. I feel it's very dangerous to persist with someone just because they haven't been in the job for a long time. If it can clearly see it's not going to work out, then possibly that's an avenue they need to go down. And obviously, look at it. Sarri's 60 years of age. He hasn't won anything, but he's set football in the way he's probably set in the way he wants to play football. You're even seeing a reluctance to really change things here and there. Their defense, I said their defense statistics aren't really backing. I said that defense is suspect. And when the sun's shining, similar to Arsenal when it was 22 games unbeaten and we're getting the rubber, the green, obviously people can recognise these things, but it's not spoken about. And when things go wrong, when it rains, it pours, like you're seeing with it now. You're seeing question marks. So possibly Sarri's inability or reluctance to want to change his way of playing or bend it in the slightest. For me, the substitutions, I don't have the stats to hand, but I'm pretty sure whoever, depending on who's playing, if Barkley's not on the field and they're losing, Barkley comes on. If Jorginho starts, but if Jorginho was on the bench, he would come on. It just looks like his only option is to bring on midfielders, essential midfielders. And I think it's too easy. I actually don't think he has to change that much. Personally, I'd think if he puts Kante slightly deeper to a degree and probably puts a bit more pride in defending and he marries it with the Sarri ball, it could be a good thing. I don't necessarily think he needs to bend it, but that's the first side I mentioned. So obviously, inability to change. The age he's at now, he's probably set in his ways. He's not open to new ideas. You look at Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola's set in his ways, but he bended how he looked at football to a degree. Klopp has a set way of playing, but they bended it. We know they're all gun-ho and that's their approach, but they've improved defensively, not just from signing Van Dijk. The whole attitude to defending, especially when the game's dying out. So game management, that he's bended it, and now look where they are now. They might not win the league. Hopefully they don't win the league, but you see what I'm saying, people. So you obviously, if a man's reluctant to bend, and at the age he's at, he's stuck in his ways. He hasn't really got the energy of Klopp and Pep. That's how he wants to play. They've got to keep it moving, because Chelsea are incredibly predictable. We know they're gonna if you give them players at the ball at their feet, they're gonna create chances. They're gonna play good football. They're gonna keep possession, but they're too predictable. It's sideways passes. If Hazard's not up for it, or Hazard's marked out the game, there's nothing he can do. On the topic of marking people out the game, like we've seen with Dele Alli, Aaron Ramsey, and just about anyone who's beat Chelsea, you get onto Jorginho, you've won the game essentially. So there's that. But I also feel, again, I'm not a Chelsea fan, so they know their thing more than me, but the Chelsea model, you've seen it with Jose, you've seen it with Conte, and it's not happening right now. Sorry, but it seems success. The players start in the newspaper and things. Players are always praising the new tactics, the new approach, this and that. Everything's going fine and dandy. Like you've seen with Conte and Jose, they win Premier League titles, and then when it's going wrong, it seems like these players down tools, and it's like they conspire and things. And it's not just them; they do it. Every player does it. Every player of every team not in good form does it. Players get away with a lot, in my opinion, anyways. But yeah. So it's like you see that the current trend that Chelsea have been going on. You'd think, I'm sure some of their fans think, we need to find some stability, is that we back a manager. In hindsight, you might think we backed the wrong man, but give him sort of time. This whole model of constantly chopping and changing isn't healthy. And if you're honest, a lot of them players, you've seen, for better or worse, you've seen many, I don't say many, that's an exaggeration, but you've probably seen about 3 different managers within the core group of that Chelsea side, and the players are the common denominator. I'm not going to name drop, but you know the core bunch of players that have been at that club for a while. So when do you look at the players? I'm not absolving Sarri, he is the manager, so ultimately he is to blame, essentially, because it's sad, because if the team was winning, you'd praise Hazard, praise Jorginho, praise, I don't know, the resurgence of Barkley like you saw in the start of the season, long before Sarri, but this is the model, innit? So you'd think maybe just give him time, allow him to implement what he wants to do. I can't really see what he's trying to implement beyond the passing stuff. Allow him to possibly, or have a word to try and make him bend his ways and be a little less predictable in terms of how he sets out the team, his substitutions and things like that. On one hand, I do believe you should give a man time. I really do believe he should be given time. But it's a difficult one, man. It's a really difficult one, because I'm not to make it about Arsenal, but you look at Unai Emery. I feel Unai Emery, there's a lot of good things he's implemented and introducing, but by the same logic, consistently tinkering through his side, not really playing anything close to an attractive style of play or the values that are attributed with the club. I know we're scoring a lot of goals, but do you see it? There's a lot of question marks. So as much as I believe he should be given time, at the same time, do these managers necessarily show you stuff that they to encourage you to give them time and things like that? And again, back to the main point of this vid, what happens if you give the wrong manager time? Like again, it's fine, and that's why I don't have an opinion really. I have to sit on the fence, because like I said earlier, I'm sitting here and saying time, but say Unai Emery and Sarri, they're consistently showing you that this isn't for them and this is a bit booky. How long do you keep looking at it and saying time? They've just been in their jobs. When do you cut them loose, sort of thing? So yeah, it's a difficult one. Only Chelsea fans can answer at this moment in time. What day are we at? We're on Wednesday. Wednesday evening, 5 p.m. Today, I feel Sarri should be given time, but personally, it doesn't look great. He might lose this job this week, to be honest, depending on Sunday. I mean, even if he was to lose against Malmo, I mean, I will say this as well, away from Sarri, it's time for them players to be held accountable, because again, the common denominator between about 2 or 3 managers, and this sort of thing has been said for Chelsea quite frequently, them players are still there. Regardless of if you think them Chelsea players are rubbish and this and that, or past it, Chelsea fans or anyone else, majority of that squad, and I say majority lightly, they've won Premier League titles. In fact, they've won under Jose and under Conte, so they know how to defend to a degree. They know all the game management things and everything that's required to be the top level. So you have to ask these players questions of these players. Sorry, people, and they're getting away with murder. Like, they're really getting away with murder, especially the senior players. Now, one reason as to why Sarri possibly should be, I forgot to mention, but should be clipped from the job is because if you lose the players, you've lost it, innit? And from the comments, he's bashing the players and he keeps talking about motivation or confusing football and this and that and the third. Is he losing the players, or have the players lost him? Either way, if they're not all on the same page, It's good for other teams. It's good like Arsenal. I mean, if you and United will go away, we can sneak fourth, but it's not good necessarily for the club. So only Chelsea fans can answer. Apologies again for the wind. I can't control that, but it's a difficult one, people, and I don't know, to be honest, man. I don't know, because we're sitting here, we're in February now, a couple of months to the season's done. I feel he's implemented a style of play. Everything was going right at the start of the season, but now you're seeing cracks and things like that. And for me, it's probably the reason as to why he might have to leave is, for me, if I think about it, it's the reluctance to change and bend your philosophy slightly, because it's going to pay in the Prem. And it would probably be, again, I'm not a Chelsea fan, so I haven't really been updated, but the post-match comments and stuff, to be honest with you, and allegedly the rumours as to what's happened in these changing rooms. But I'm not a Chelsea fan. You lot know more than me. I'm just offering my opinions. A lot of you say, DG, you need to talk about football week beyond just Arsenal and things, and I do it here and there, and I thought this was another opportunity with the whole Chelsea shenanigans. So yeah, man, I'm done talking. I'm going to get out of your hair. People, deluded, if you wish, please like the vid. Please subscribe if you're a new subscriber. You know you've reached the best place. Comment if you've got any opinions. Follow me on all my socials, DeludedGuno04 and everything. Facebook, DeludedGuno, simply without the 04, whatever. Snapchat, DGuno04. So yeah, hit me up, man. People, it's been a pleasure. Thank you. I'm out though.